What's up, guys? It's Friday, and welcome to CNA Films and Animation.
Well, guys, you guys voted for it, and we are going to review today Wreck-It Ralph.
Remember this poster? It's from our first video.
Yep.
So what's Wreck-It Ralph about?
Well, Wreck-It Ralph is about a video game character. He's a villain named Wreck-It Ralph, and he's in a video game called Fix-It Felix Jr., which is basically kind of like a spin-off of Donkey Kong, the original video game. And pretty much, Wreck-It Ralph will, break this building, and it's Fix-It Felix's job to repair it. And so, once all the kids in the arcade go home, all the video game characters basically go to this video game hub where they can go into the different video game worlds and hang out with other video game characters. And Wreck-It Ralph, he's tired of being the villain.
He's been at it for 30 years, continuously destroying the building. He's tired of being the bad guy, getting no love really. He's lonely.
Mm-hmm.
He lives all by himself in the dump pile,
which is just nothing but bricks and a stump.
Yes.
And he's tired of being hated by the townspeople in this video game of his.
Yes.
He wants to be accepted.
Yes, and he thinks he can get accepted if he wins a medal, which is what happens whenever Fix-It Felix wins the day. He gets a medal. And so he thinks, if I get a medal, then they'll instantly love me and everything will be right. So he decides to game jump, which is taboo to the video game characters.
Mm-hmm.
And he hears of this new game, Hero's Duty. And he wants to win the medal there and come back as a hero. But things don't go as well as he hopes, and he's nearly killed.
Mm-hmm. And you learn near the beginning of the film that if a character dies outside of their video game world, they're dead forever. So, it's very important that any video game character outside the world stays alive.
Yes. And
so when Wreck-It Ralph nearly dies in Hero's Duty, it's kind of a big thing.
Yes. He decides to just go and grab the medal instead of
going through the game with the player.
Yes, which I like because he's still a bad guy. He wants to be good, but he is still a bad guy. And he got it a way a bad guy would.
Mm-hmm. And once he gets the medal, he is pretty much ejected from a space pod with a alien attached to his face.
Yes.
And he's basically jetted out of the Hero's Duty, and he flies into Sugar Rush, a Japanese-style race car game.
That's based on a world that is full of candy themed, sugary.
Think Candyland meets Mario Kart.
Yes, extremely. And it is a neat looking world.
Mm-hmm.
The colors, the backgrounds.
Yeah, it's a very fleshed out world. A lot of bright colors, a lot of very funny and visual sight gags throughout the entire movie, but specifically with this world. You've got a couple of cops who are donuts.
Yes.
You've got just all sorts of different characters that are just fun to see. Some of them are references, some of them are pretty much original, and it's a lot of fun to see them. But in Sugar Rush, he comes across a young girl named Vanellope Von Sweets.
Yes.
Who is voiced by Sarah Silverman, and she's wanting to be a race car driver.
The only problem is she is a glitch. She is not an actual racer. She is just computer code that was not supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. Or so it may seem.
Yes.
Sugar Rush is ruled by a king. Do you remember his name?
King Candy.
Yeah, King Candy, and he is he's basically the villain of the movie, and he doesn't want Vanellope to race. It's pretty much what it comes down
Yes. And Wreck-It Ralph teams up with Vanellope to
try to get her to win this race because she used his medal that he won in Hero's Duty
as a token to enter the race.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to get it back so he can go and return as the hero he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Things still don't go quite as well, but let's not spoil everything.
Yeah, no, this is one of those movies that it's best that you guys figure out everything for yourselves.
Yes.
It's, what are your thoughts on the film, Alan?
I love this film of last year. I'm sad it didn't win the Best Animated Film at the Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
It is nicely animated. It sets up this world that's really cool. It has all these characters in it. The different colors, the 3 different worlds, and how different they are. You see the old school arcade with Wreck-It Ralph's world, the newer shoot 'em up, new
First-person shooter.
yes, first-person shooter game with Hero's Duty, and you see the racing game. All 3 were popular in their day.
Mm-hmm.
They're great, and they make these worlds, and they're so different and really fleshed out. This movie can be touching, it can be sad.
It's very funny as well.
Yes. Only problem I had was it maybe had a little too much of the, I guess, potty humor.
Mm-hmm.
Hero's Duty.
Yeah, I mean, it is
a
a little more directed towards younger kids, in a sense. I mean, especially with Penelope's character.
Yes.
To a point. I won't say it's specifically for kids, but it's not. Some of her jokes are.
Yeah, the jokes are
childish.
I felt the parts that were supposed to be deep, supposed to be meaning,
Mm-hmm.
were really fleshed out and really nice.
Yes, I have to say that the drama in this film, because there is a good bit of drama with this film, and the drama is very powerful, very moving, and very much deeper than a normal kids movie is.
Yes.
There are some, I guess, situations in the film that are very understandable, but at the same time just heartbreaking.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. The part where Wreck-It Ralph learns what might happen if
Penelope races.
Vanellope races and wins. It could be the end of her.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole game. It is a spoiler. I'm sorry, but that whole scene is very strong, and Wreck-It Ralph has to do something he regrets, but to him it's for her own good,
Mm-hmm.
and he regrets it, but he got it in. It's for her. She'll still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
It works. The end I thought was really nice.
Yeah. The end has a nice surprise to it. We're not going to spoil anything else.
Yeah.
It had a nice twist to it. It was very funny, very creative.
Yes. The little cameos for the actual video game characters. Zangief, Sonic. Sonic's in there a lot. I only thought he was in there a couple times, but we saw him. He's in there like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. You got Frogger, you've got
Dig Dug?
yeah, Dig Dug, Tappers.
Tavern, yeah, Tapper's Tavern, something like.
Yeah. You also have Pac-Man.
Yes.
He's in it for a couple of scenes.
Yeah. Many different characters. You see them, they're like, wow. The ghost from Pac-Man, he's in there.
He's like the spokesperson for this villain.
Villain awareness meeting thing.
Yeah.
That is.
As you've seen in the trailer, Bowser's is even in
Yeah, Bowser's in there.
I mean, he's, I think, only in it for one scene, but he's still there.
Mario and that world is mentioned a couple times. They have shout-outs.
Mm-hmm.
Mario's never fully seen, but he's a big thing, and they mention him, and it's great.
Yeah. And, that's one of the strong suits of the film. There's a lot of video game references, and especially older school video games.
Yes.
Me being a kid of the 90s, I still grew up with NES games, original Nintendo, some Atari and stuff. I grew up with a lot of those games, so I got a lot of the references. And, it was really nice to see a lot of these characters. But what I really liked was that they were not the main focus of the movie.
Yes, they're shown early on and some throughout whenever they go into the game central station.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice. It kind of, I guess, when they're early, they get the more adults and the ones that grew up with it. Oh, wow, hey, I love those characters. Oh my gosh, he's in this? And
I remember playing that game.
yeah, it really kind of sucks them in to it and shows them that it's not just an ordinary kids movie.
Mm-hmm. And, it also has a lot of adult moments to it, not in a bad way. I mean, it's a very touching, very moving, and very well-developed film. As he said, I completely agree. It's a shame that this did not win Best Animated Feature. Brave, I thought, was a good movie, but I didn't think it deserved the win.
Yes. Only thing I can say for Brave winning was the animation flow. Well, not flow, but the animation itself. The animation is beautiful. Wreck-It Ralph's is too,
Mm-hmm.
but the flow and the feel and the sweeping landscapes of Brave, I'd have to give it to Brave on that.
Mm-hmm.
But the story, the characters, everything else, I'd have to give to Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, the characters are so likable, so well developed and voiced wonderfully. I mean, John C. Reilly does the voice of Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, and it's great.
Sarah Silverman was Vanellope. What's her name? Jane Lynch voiced the leader of Hero's Duty.
Yes.
And Jack McBrayer does the voice of Fix-It Felix. I mean, you've got a lot of big voice talents in this film. And, Alan Tudyk was the voice of King Candy. I mean, a lot of big stars are in this film. They'll do a great job with their voice characters. Each one's very different, very unique. And, I've got to say that this is probably the most enjoyable animated film of last year.
Yes, it is a great film. I highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What would you give it out of 10?
out of 10, I think I'm going to give it a 9.9. You can't get much better than this film. It is touching. The animation is great. Characters are awesome. How about you, Corey?
Yeah, I really love this movie. It's one of my favorite animated features of the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, of all time. When I went and saw this in theaters, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. The trailer never really grabbed me. But, coming out of the theater and after rewatching it, I just have to say it's an instant classic. It's one of my all-time favorites now, and I've got to give it a 9.7 out of 10. Tell me, guys, have you seen Wreck-It Ralph? If you have, what were your thoughts on it? Did you like it? Did you wish that it won Best Animated Feature? What'd you think of the characters? What'd you think of the things that happened in this film?
What's your favorite moment?
Yes. What'd you think of the animation overall? If you haven't seen the film, do you want to see it? Comment below and let us know.
Be sure to contribute to this week's poll, which include Rise of the Guardians, Cirque du Soleil,
Yeah.
Worlds Away. Is that right?
Cirque du Soleil, or something like that. Yeah.
Cirque du Soleil, Worlds Away, Hitchcock,
Smashed. This Must Be the Place. The First Time.
Storage 24, and This Is Not a Film.
So for those who are not familiar, of the films that we just mentioned, you'll post your vote in the comments, and whatever gets the highest votes will win next week's review for Friday. So be sure to take part in that, and poll will end on Tuesday at 9 p.m.
Yep. Thank you for everyone who participated in last week's poll. Otherwise, we wouldn't have watched this great film again.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, Thank you, everyone who participated. Really enjoy hearing your guys' thoughts and everything on what should be reviewed. If you like this video, please like, favorite, subscribe.
Be sure to check out our other videos.
And I'm Cory.
I'm Allen.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
See you later, man.